Imagine living in a black and white world. It's bland and tedious. And that's the world without art. Art brings beauty into our world. It can serve as catharsis or help us uncover feelings of which we were previously unaware of. It lifts the viewer beyond the confines of reality and into another world. Sometimes, art provides pure escapism. Other art allows us to juxtapose fantasy and reality, creating a world in which the artists wish we live. Art communicates across all cultures, tells the story of the past and present, and inspires minds to do beautiful things. The Order of the National Artist Award or Orden ng Kagawad Pambansang Alagad ng Sining is the highest national recognition given to Filipino individuals who have made significant contributions to the development of Philippine arts, namely music, dance, theater, visual arts, literature, film and broadcast arts, and architecture and allied arts. It is the highest recognition bestowed on a Filipino artist who has made significant contributions to the development of Philippine arts and culture. These achievements are measured in terms of their vision, unusual insight, creativity and imagination, technical proficiency of the highest order in expressing Filipino culture and traditions, history, way of life, and aspirations. And here are the national artists of the Philippines. National Artist for Visual Arts.
Fernando Omarsolo. Fernando Omarsolo y Cueto was born on May 30, 1892 in Callejeran in Paco, Manila, and died on April 24, 1972. He was one of the most influential artists in Philippine painting history. Omarsolo was a portraitist and a painter of rural landscapes. Omarsolo painted with natural light and invented the backlighting technique chiaroscuro, which became his artistic trademark and his most significant contribution to Philippine painting. Achievements and awards of Fernando Omarsolo. On 1940, he won the Outstanding University of the Philippines Alumnus Award. On 1959, he won the Gold Medal UNESCO National Commission. On 1972, he won the Gawad CCP para sa Sining from the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Fernando Omarsolo was the first Filipino to be named the country's national artist in painting in 1972 and has been named as the Grand Old Man of Philippine art. Here are some of the famous artworks of Fernando Omarsolo. The first one is Making the Philippine Flag, second, On the Way Home, and the last one is Planting Rice. Carlos Francisco. Carlos Modesto Botong Villalius Francisco was born on November 14, 1912 in Angono, Rizal, and died on March 31, 1969. Francisco used vibrant folk colors, rhythmic lines, and decorative patterns. He evoked the communal life of gatherings and celebrations in the Philippines. His imagery was inspired by mythology, history, legend, and contemporary Philippine village life. He was the second Filipino who received the title of National Artist in Painting in 1973 after Fernando Omarsolo. He won the Most Outstanding Alumnus in 1959 and the Republic Cultural Heritage Award in 1964. Here are some of the artworks of Carlos Francisco. The first one is Portrait of Purita. Second, The Invasion of Limahong, and the third one is The First Mass at Limasawa. Guillermo E. Tolentino. Guillermo Estrella Tolentino was born on July 24, 1819, Malolos, Bulacan, and died on July 12, 1976. He is considered as the father of Philippine arts because of his great works. He was a Filipino sculptor in classical style who was named National Artist for the Visual Arts in 1973. He worked in the classical style and mainly used plaster and metal to create his sculptures. On 1959, he won the UNESCO Cultural Award in Sculpture. On 1963, he won the Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan Award. On 1973, He was designated as the Artist of the Philippines for Visual Arts and Sculpture. Here are some of the artworks of Guillermo Tolentino. The first one is the Bonifacio Monument. Second, the Oblation. And the third one is the marble statue of Ramon Magsaysay in GSIS. Napoleon Villabueva. Napoleon Billy Veloso Bueva was born on January 26, 1913, Tagbilaran, Bohol, and died on February 16, 2018. Napoleon was generally acknowledged as the father of modern Philippine sculpture. He was an expert in both the academic representational style and modern abstract, and he used almost every material in his arts, including the hardwood, adobe, metal, stainless steel, cement, marble, bronze, iron, alabaster, coral, and brass. First prize in the 5th Annual Art Exhibition on 1974. Fourth Assay and Achievement Award for the Visual Arts in Singapore on 1995. Here are some of the artworks of Napoleon Bueva. The first one is 9 Muses of the Art. Second, Keys of Judas. And the third one is Eternal Garden Memorial Park. Victorio Edades. Victorio C. Edades was born on December 23, 1895 in Dagupan, Pangasinan, and died on March 7, 1985. Victorio was generally acknowledged as the father of modern painting. He was a pioneer in modernism in the Philippine art scene. He paints distorted human figures in rough, bold impasto strokes, and standing tall and singular in his advocacy and practice of what he believes is creative art. Araw ng Maynila Award in Painting in 1964. National Artist Award in Painting in 1976. The degree of Doctor of Fine Arts in UST on 1977. Here are some of the artworks of Victorio Edades. The first one is The Builders, second, The Sketch, and the last one is The Mother and Daughter. Vicente Manansala. Vicente Silva Manansala was born on January 22, 1910 in Macabebe, Pampanga, and died on August 22, 1981. He was a Philippine Cubist painter and illustrator and is known for creating transparent cubism. His canvases were described as masterpieces that brought the culture of the barrio and the city. Outstanding UP alumnus in 1957. Republic Cultural Heritage Award in 1963. Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan Award in 1970. Here are some of the artworks of Vicente Manansala. The first one is Jeepneys. Second, Carabao. The third one is Mother and Child. Hernando Ocampo. Hernando Ruiz Ocampo was born on April 28, 1911 in Manila and died on December 28, 1978. His works contributed significantly to the rise of the nationalist spirit in the post-war era and was known for his abstract paintings. Ocampo drew inspiration for his bold color palettes and biomorphic shapes from both his country's landscape and science fiction writing. He won the 6th prize Art Association of the Philippines for Nude with Candle and Flower in 1948. 3rd prize Manila Club Art Exhibition for Angel's Kiss in 1949. He was proclaimed as a national artist in visual arts in 1991. Here are some of the artworks of Hernando Ocampo. The first one is Genesis. Second, Inanang Balon. And the third one is Calvary. Cesar Legazpi. Cesar Torrente Legazpi was born on April 2, 1917 in Tondo, Manila and died on April 7, 1994. Cesar Legazpi is remembered for his singular accomplishment in refining cubism in the Philippine context. His distinct style and daring themes played an important role in the emergence and eventual acceptance of modern art in the Philippines. Legazpi used geometric fragmentation to weave social commentary and combine the mythical and modern into his overlapping, interacting forms with disturbing power and intensity. 4th prize Art Association of the Philippines for Gadgets in 1944. 1st prize Art Association of the Philippines for Sick Child in 1948. Critics' Choice Award for 5 Outstanding Living Artists in 1981. Gawad CCP para sa Sining Award from the Cultural Center of the Philippines in 1990. Here are some of the artworks of Cesar Legazpi. The first one is Idols of the Third Eye. Second, Ovary. And the third one is Facade. Arturo Luz. Arturo Rogerio Luz is a modern Filipino artist best known for his minimalist, geometric, and abstract styles of art, animated paintings of circus performers and musicians, and his acclaimed Cityscape series. Luz produced works that elevated Filipino aesthetic vision to new heights of sophisticated simplicity. Outstanding Young Man in Art, Manila Times in 1955. Luz received National Artist Award, the highest recognition grant on Filipinos who have made significant contributions to the development of Philippine art in 1997. Here are some of the artworks of Arturo Luz. The first one is Bagong Taon. Second, Skipping Rope. And the third one is Cities of the Past.
Jerry Navarro Elizalde was born on May 22, 1924 at San Jose de Buena Vista and died on June 10, 1999. Jerry Navarro Elizalde was a Philippine artist. He studied in the University of the Philippines, Manila, as a Ramon Rosas publication scholar in 1947. Jerry Navarro Elizalde was given the National Artist Award for Visual Arts in 1999. 3 of his major mixed media works are I'm Sorry Jesus, I Can't Attend Christmas This Year on 1965 and his homage to Dodgy Laurel on 1969 and The Flying Contraption for Mr. Icarus on 1984 at Lopez Museo. Ang Kyukok, born on May 1, 1931 and died on May 9, 2005 at the age of 74 years old. Ang Kyukok was a Filipino painter known for his expressive cubist-like works. He often chose dynamic or disturbing subject matter, frequently depicting rabid dogs, crucifixions, and screaming figures in an abstracted geometric style. Kyukok was awarded the title of National Artist by his home country in 2001 and continued to exhibit his success until his death on May 9, 2005 in Quezon City, Philippines. Some of his artworks are The Sitting Man in 1978, Mother and Child in 1988, Jesus Falls for the second time in 1996. Benedicto Reyes Cabrera, born on April 10, 1942. Benedicto Reyes Cabrera, better known as Bencab, is a Filipino painter and was awarded National Artist of the Philippines for Visual Arts in 2006. He has been noted as arguably the best-selling painter of his generation of Filipino artists. Some of his achievements and awards are second prize painting Shell National Student Art Competition on 1962, first prize painting University of the Philippines Student Council Art Competition on 1963, 13 Artist Award Cultural Center of the Philippines in 1970, Kalinangan Culture Award for Painting City of Manila on 1988, conferred the Order of National Artists for Visual Arts by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in Malacanang Palace on 2006, Badano with Objects in 1991, a younger poet in exile in 1978, and Waiting for the Monsoon in 1986. Abdul Marie Asha Ima was born on January 14, 1963 and died on December 16, 2014. Abdul Marie Asha Ima was a Filipino painter and a sculptor. Ima was named National Artist of the Philippines for his sculpture in 2006. At Tausug, Ima is the first Moro to receive the recognition. Aside from being a sculptor, Ima is also a painter, photographer, ceramist, cultural researcher, documentary filmmaker, writer, and a patron of Philippine Muslim art and culture. He was inducted into the Order of National Artists in 2006 and awarded the Presidential Medal of Merit in 2005, the Gawad CCP para sa Sining in 1990, and the Gawad Patnubay ng Sining by the City of Manila in 1985. Some of his artworks are Sari Fish on 2013, Sari Manok on 1975, oil in canvas, Federico Aguilar Alquaz, born on June 6, 1932, died on February 2, 2011. Federico Aguilar Alquaz was a Filipino painter who exhibited extensively internationally and whose work earned him recognition both in the Philippines and abroad. Alquaz was conferred the title of National Artist for Visual Arts, Painting, Sculpture, and Mixed Media in 2009. Tres Marias on 1982, There is Love on 1985, Mountain View on 1987 are some of his artworks. Francisco V. Coching, born on January 29, 1919, died on September 1, 1998. Francisco V. Coching was a Filipino comic books illustrator and writer and is regarded as one of the pillars of Philippine comics industry. He served as both illustrator and writer for his comic book stories. Coching is referred to as the King of Comics and as the Dean of Philippine Comics. On June 20, 2014, Coching was posthumously named as National Artist for the Visual Arts by virtue of Proclamation number 808 series of 2014. Lapu-Lapu is one of the comic novel of Coching. Jose T. Hoya, born on June 3, 1931, died on May 11, 1995. Jose T. Hoya was a Filipino abstract artist and the National Artist of the Philippines awardee. Hoya was a printer, painter, mixed media artist, and a former dean of the University of the Philippines College of Fine Arts. He pioneered abstract expressionism in the Philippines. He was posthumously declared National Artist in 2003. Some of his artworks are Space Transfiguration in 1959 and Hills of Nico in 1964.
National Artist for Architecture.
Pablo Severo Antonio Sr., born on January 25, 1901, died on June 14, 1975. Pablo Severo Antonio Sr. was a Filipino architect, a pioneer of modern Philippine architecture. He was recognized in some quarters as the foremost Filipino modernist architect of his time. The rank and the title of National Artist of the Philippines was conferred on him by President Ferdinand Marcos in 1976. Antonio was awarded as the National Artist of the Philippines in 1976. Antonio designed the White Cross Orphanage in 1938 along Santolan Road in San Juan City and the Manila Polo Club in 1950 in Makati. Leandro V. Locsin was a Filipino architect, artist, and interior designer, known for his use of concrete, floating volume, and simplistic design in various projects. An avid collector, he was fond of modern painting and Chinese ceramics. His accomplishments contribute remarkable to the development of architectural culture in Asia. He was awarded as the National Artist of the Philippines. Church of the Risen Lord, Cultural Center of the Philippines, the Parish of Holy Sacrifice, or Simbahang Bilog, are some of his architectural artworks.
Ildefonso P. Santos Jr. was a national artist for architecture. He was born on September 5, 1929 on Malabon, Rizal, Philippine Islands and died on January 29, 2014 at age of 84. He was a Filipino architect who was known for being the father of Philippine landscape architecture. Graduated from the University of Santo Tomas in 1954 with a degree in the field of architecture. He was bestowed with the title of National Artist for his outstanding achievement in architecture and allied arts in June 9, 2006. These are the examples of work: Seminole Public Landscape and Paco Park, Tagaytay Highland Resort, Mount Malarayat Golf,
National Artist for Literature.
Carlos Quirino was a national artist for historical literature. He was born on January 14, 1910 and died on May 20, 1999. He was a Filipino biographer, historian, and cultural administrator. Best known for his early biography of the Philippines' national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. And these are the Achievement Awards, National Artist Awards, and also he became the very first Filipino correspondent for the United Press Institute. Examples of works: Philippine Cartography, The Great Malayan, 1940, Filipinos at War on 1981. Francisco or Franz Arceliana was a Filipino writer, poet, essayist, critic, journalist, and a teacher. He was born on September 6, 1916 and died on August 1, 2002. He was born on EKA Frank V. Santa Cruz, Manila. Arceliana pioneered the development of the short story as a lyrical prose poetic form within Filipino literature. In 1932, Arceliana entered the University of the Philippines or UP as a pre-medicine student. He graduated in 1939 with a Bachelor of Philosophy and degree. These are the examples of work: Frankie, The Man Who Would Be Poe, Death in a Factory. Nestor Vicente Madali Gonzalez was a Filipino novelist, short story writer, essayist, and poet. He was born on September 8, 1915 and died on November 28, 1999. He was conferred as the National Artist of the Philippines for Literature in 1997. He attended college at National University but he was unable to finish his undergraduate degree. In 1987, UP conferred on him the Doctor of Humane Letters. Examples of his work: The Winds of April, 7 Hills Away, Children of the Ash-Covered Loam. Nico Metes or Nick Marquez Joaquin was a Filipino writer and journalist. He was born on May 4, 1917 on Paco, Manila. He was died on April 29, 2004 on San Juan. He was a Filipino novelist, poet, playwright, essayist, and biographer. Nick Joaquin attended Paco Elementary School and went to Mapa High School for secondary education. He dropped out on school in his third year because he wanted to explore outside. Examples of work of Joaquin: The Woman Who Had Two Novels on 1961, My Manila, A History for the Young, and The Ballad of the Five Battles. Alejandro Reyes Roses was a Filipino author, essayist, dramatist, and a national artist of the Philippines for literature. He was born on July 1924 and died on May 23, 2011. He was born in Manila, Philippine Islands. He graduated with BA in Fine Arts and not long after attained his MA from the Far Eastern University back in the Philippines. He was a captain in the Markings guerrilla during World War II and a columnist in Philippine Dailies. Examples of works: Cocks and Kites, My Brother's Peculiar Chicken, and Something to Crow About. Edith L. Champo was a poet, fiction writer, teacher, and literary critic. She was a Filipino writer in the English language. She was born on April 22, 1919 and died on August 21, 2011. Champo was born in Bayumbong, Nueva Vizcaya. Her language has been marked as descriptive but unburdened by scrupulous detailing. She is an influential tradition in Philippine literature in English. National Artist Award for Literature 1999. Examples of her work: A Blade of Fern 1978, One Tilting Leaves on 1995, The Builder on 2004. Virgilio Sinadrin Almario is a Filipino artist, author, poet, critic, translator, editor, teacher, and cultural manager. He was born on March 9, 1944. He completed his degree in AB Political Science at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He took master's units in education at the University of the East. He is a national artist of the Philippines and currently serves as the chairman of the Commission sa Wikang Filipino o KWF. Examples of his work: Ibong Adorna, Ang Alamat ng Palay, and Sentimental on 2004.
Amado V. Hernandez. He was born on September 13, 1903 in Hagonoy, Bulacan, and grew up in Tondo, Manila. He died on May 24, 1970. He studied at Manila High School and American Correspondence School. He is a poet, playwright, and novelist. He is among the Filipino writers who practice committed art. In his view, the function of the writer is to act as a conscience of society and to affirm the greatness of human spirit in the face of inequity and oppression. Aside from being a national artist, he is also the first awardee of Ateneo de Manila's Tanglaw ng Lahi Award. During his lifetime, he accumulated over 20 awards for his short stories and poems. His famous works are Bayang Malaya, Isang Dipang Langit, Luha ng Buwaya. Carlos P. Romulo, born on January 14, 1899 at Camiling, Tarlac, and died on December 15, 1985. He entered the University of the Philippines, where he received a bachelor's degree in 1918. After getting a Master's of Art from Columbia University in 1921, he returned to work as a professor of English and chairman of the English Department of the University of the Philippines. Multiple careers span 50 years of public service as an educator, soldier, university president, journalist, and diplomat. He was a reporter at 16, a newspaper editor by the age of 20, and publisher at 32. His works are The United, I Walked with Heroes, and I Saw the Fall of the Philippines. Bienvenido Lumbera. He was born on April 11, 1932, and he spent most of his youth in Batangas. He entered the University of Santo Tomas in 1950 to pursue a degree in journalism. He completed his MA and then his PhD in comparative literature at Indiana University in 1967. He is a poet, librist, and scholar. As a poet, he introduced to Tagalog literature what is now known as Bagay Poetry, a landmark aesthetic tendency that has helped to change the vernacular of poetic tradition. His works are Likhang Dila, Likhang Diwa, Balaybay, Mga Tulang Lunod at Manibalang, and Sa Sariling Bayan. Cirilio F. Bautista was born in Manila on July 9, 1941, growing up in Balik-Balik, Sampaloc. He died on May 6, 2018. He graduated from the University of Santo Tomas with a degree of AB Literature, magna cum laude. He earned his MA Literature from St. Louis University, magna cum laude, and his doctorate in Language and Literature from De La Salle University. He is a poet, a fictionist, and essayist with exceptional achievements and significant contributions to the development of country's literary arts. Throughout his careers that spanned more than 4 decades, he established a reputation for fine and profound artistry. His books, lectures, poetry readings, and creative writing workshop continue to influence his peers and generations of young writers. Lazaro Francisco was born on February 22, 1898 in Orani, Bulacan, and died on June 17, 1980. He completed training college at Central Luzon Agricultural College but could not finish because of poverty. He developed a social realist tradition in Philippine fiction. His 11 novel, now acknowledged classics of the Philippine literature, embodies the author's commitment to nationalism. His reputation as the master of the Tagalog novel is backed up by numerous awards he received for his meritorious novel in particular, and for his contribution to Philippine literature and culture in general. His works are Ama, Bayang Nagpatiwakal, Maganda Pa ang Daigdig, and Daluyong. Jose Garcia Villa, born on August 5, 1908 in Manila and died on February 7, 1997 in New York. He attended the University of the Philippines, but he was suspended in 1929 after publishing a series of erotic poems called Man Songs. is considered one of the finest contemporary poets regardless of race or language. He introduced the reverse consonants rhyme scheme, including the comma poems that made full use of the punctuation mark in an innovative poetic way. The first of his poems, Have Come, I'm Here, received critical recognition when it appeared in New York in 1942. His works are Footnote to Youth, Many Voices, Poems by the Vain Lion, Poem 55.
National artists for cinema or film.
Lamberto V. Avellana, born on February 12, 1915 in Bontoc Mountain Province, died on April 15, 1991. Was a prominent Filipino film and stage director despite considerably budgetary limitation that hampered the post-war Filipino film industry. Is the director of theater and film, has the distinction of being called the boy wonder of Philippine movies. As early as 1939, he was the first to use motion picture camera to establish a point of view, a move that revolutionized the technique of film narration. His awards are nominated many times at famous awards for Best Director, and in 1981, he won the Gawad Yurian Award. His works are Anak Dalita, Bajao, and Calderong Pilang. Manuel Conde. He was born on October 9, 1915 and died on August 11, 1985. He grew up and studied in Daet, Camarines Norte in the decades before and after World War II, when Philippine society was being inundated by American popular culture. Conde invested local cinema with a distinct cultural history of its own through movies. It translated onto the silver screen the age-old stories that Filipinos had told and retold from generation to generation for at least past 100 years. His works are Ibong Adarna, Si Juan Tamad, and Genghis Khan.
Eddie Cinco Romero. He was born July 7, 1924 until May 28, 2013. He died because of a blood clot in his brain. He is known to be a Filipino film director, film producer, and screenwriter. His body of work delved into the history and politics of the Philippines. He was nominated and gained multiple awards in FAMAS Awards, Manila Film Festival, Gawad Urian Awards, Maria Clara Awards, and Luna Awards. His works includes The Mad Doctor of Bluth's Island, Beast of the Yellow Night, The Twilight People, and many more. Catalino Lino Ortiz Broca. He was born on April 3, 1939 until May 22, 1991 due to car accident. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential and significant Filipino filmmakers in the history of Philippine cinema. He won significant awards in British film festivals, Cannes Film Festivals, Famous Awards, FAP Awards Philippines, Gawad Urian Awards, and many more. His works include Tinimbang Ka, Ngunit Kulang, Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag, Insyang, and Bayan Ko, Kapit sa Patalim. Gerardo de Leon. He was born on September 12, 1913 until July 25, 1981. He is known to be a Filipino film director and an actor. De Leon produced a number of anti-American propaganda films during World War II in collaboration with the occupying Japanese forces and Japanese director Abe Yutaka, who personally chose De Leon for the projects. He won 7 FAMAS Awards and Best Foreign Language Film at the 32nd Academy Awards. Also, he became the National Artist of the Philippines soon in 1976. Their works includes Ang Dangal, Bahay Kubo, The Moises Padilla Story, and Terror is a Man. Ishmael Bernal. He was born on September 30, 1938 until June 2, 1996. He is a Filipino filmmaker, stage and television director, actor, and a screenwriter. He is noted for his melodramas, particularly with feminist and moral issues. He won multiple Gawad Urian Awards and was nominated and won awards on Metro Manila film festivals. He also became a national artist in the Philippines after his death. His works includes Nunal sa Tubig, City After Dark, Relasyon, Himala, and many more. Roland Allen K. Poe. He was born on August 20, 1939 and died December 14, 2004. He is known to be the king of Philippine movies. He is also known as Fernando Poe Jr. and colloquially as FPJ, Ronaldo Reyes, and the King. He is a Filipino actor, director, and politician. He won multiple Best Actor awards in the FAMAS. He is also nominated and achieved to be one of the national artists in the Philippines after his death. He made such remarkable films such as Anak ni Polarist, Lois Gang, and The Ravagers.
National Artists for Dance.
Francisca Reyes Aquino. She was born on March 9, 1899 until November 21, 1983. She is a Filipino folk dancer and academic noted for her research on Philippine folk dance. In the 1940s, she served as supervisor of physical education at the Bureau of Education that distributed her work and adapted the teaching of folk dancing as a medium of making young Filipinos aware of their cultural heritage. Reyes Aquino discovered and taught dances through her books such as Tinikling, Maglalatik, Lubi-Lubi, at Polka Sanayon. She was awarded with Ramon Magsaysay Awards and National Artist in the Philippines for dance in 1937. Leonor Orosa Gekinko. She was born on July 24, 1917 and died July 15, 2005 due to cardiac arrest. She is a Filipino national artist in creative dance who was also known for breaking tradition within dance. She is known to be the trailblazer, mother of Philippine theater dance, and the dean of Filipino performing arts critics. She worked and produced Circling the Globe, Dance Panorama, The Elements in 1940. She won significant awards that includes Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan Award, Rizal Centennial Award, and the Republic Cultural Heritage Award. She became the national artist in the Philippines in March 27, 1976. Ramon Obusan. He was born on June 16, 1938 until December 21, 2006. He is a Filipino dancer, choreographer, stage designer, and artist director. Obusan is credited for his work in promoting Philippine traditional dance and cultural work. His works includes Bamas Abilen series, Noon Po Sa Amin, Obra Maestra, Water, Fire and Life, Philippine Dances and Music, A Celebration of Life, Saludo sa Centennial, at Obra Maestra. He received phenomenal awards such as Patnubay ng Kalinangan Award by the City of Manila in 1992, the Gawad CCP para sa Sining Award in 1993, and the prestigious National Artist of the Philippines for Dance in May 2006.
Lucia Reyes Urdula. Lucera Faustino Reyes Urdula was born on June 29, 1929 in Iloilo City and died on August 24, 1999. She was the founding director of Bayanihan Philippines National Folk Dance Company. She was a Filipino choreographer, theater director, teacher, author, and researcher on ethnic dance. Achievement and awards: National Artist of the Philippines for Dance in 1988. Examples of work: Vinta, Tagabili, and Pagdiwata. Alice Reyes. Alice Garcia Reyes was born October 14, 1942. She was a Filipina dancer, choreographer, teacher, director, and producer, the founder of Ballet Philippines. Achievement and awards: recognized as National Artist for Dance in 2014, Gawad Buhay Outstanding Choreography for Dance for Haramahari 2012, and Gawad CCP para sa Sining. Example of works: Amanda, 1969, at Amaranao Catering, 1970, Itim Asu, 1971.
National Artists for Music.
Antonio Benaventura. Antonio Ramirez Benaventura was born on May 4, 1904 in Baliwag and died on January 25, 1996. Colonel Antonio Ramirez Benaventura was a Filipino composer, conductor, and teacher. Achievement and awards: Band Conductor of the Year, 1951, Cultural Heritage Award in 1966, Award of Merit of Outstanding Contribution to Filipino Music, 1976. National Artist of the Philippines, 1988. Examples of work: Echoes of the Past, Triumphal March, and History Fantasy. Hernani Cuenco. Hernani Johnson Cuenco was born on May 10, 1936 and died on 1988. He was a Filipino composer, film scorer, musical director, and musical teacher. Achievements and awards: Metro Film Festival Award, 1971. CCP Continental Honors of Arts, 1999. Metro Film Festival Awards, 1974. And National Artist for Music, 1999. Examples of work: Isang Dalangin, Nahan Kahit Na Magtiis, and Kalesa. Francisco Feliciano. Francisco Feliciano was born on February 19, 1941 in Moro and died on September 19, 2014. He was a Filipino composer and conductor. Achievement and awards: National Artist for Music, 2004. Example of work: Mass of St. Andrew, 1981. Buksan Mo Ang Aming Mga Labi, 1982. And Pokpok Alimpako, 2002. Jovita Puentes. Jovita Puentes was born on February 15, 1895 in Rojas City and died on August 7. She was a Filipina soprano singer. Achievement and awards: Presidential Medal of Merit, 1958. National Artist Award, 1976. Examples of work: Mutya ng Pasig, Kung Di Man ng Luha, Kung Hindi Man. Jose Maceda. Jose Maceda was born on January 31, 1917 in Manila and died on May 5, 2004 in Quezon City. He was a Filipino composer and ethnomusicologist. Achievement and awards: Fumio Koizumi Award for Ethnomusicology in Japan, 1992. Nikkei Award in Tokyo, 1997. And National Artist for Music, 1998. Examples of work: Suling Suling for 10 flutes, 10 bamboo buzzer, and 10 flat conchs, 1985. Cassette, 100 for 100 cassette player. Pagsamba, for 116 instrument, 100 mix and 25 bell voices, 1968. Lucio San Pedro. Lucio D. San Pedro Sr. was born on February 11, 1913 in Agono and died on March 31, 2002 in Quezon City. He was a Filipino composer and teacher. Achievement and awards: National Artist of the Philippines for Music, 1991. Examples of work: Rizal Valedictorian Poem, Malakas at Maganda Overture, and Double Bridge. Levi Celerio. Levi Celerio was born on April 13, 1910 in Tondo and died on April 2, 2002 in Quezon City. He was a Filipino composer and lyrics who is credited with over 4,000 songs. Achievement and awards: National Artist of the Philippines for Music and Literature of 1997. Examples of work: Sa Ugoy ng Duyan, Kahit Konting Pagtingin, and Itik-Itik.
National Artist for Theater.
Daisy Avellana. She was born on January 26, 1917 until May 12, 2013. Avellana was one of the first graduates of the UST Graduate School with Master of Arts in English. She received her awards as a National Artist Award on 1999. Her works includes Sakay Writer, Pag-asa Writer, and Tandang Sora Writer. Honorata Atang de la Rama. She was born on January 11, 1902 until July 11, 1991. Honorata de la Rama Hernandez, commonly known as Atang de la Rama, was a singer and vaudeville performer who became the first Filipino film actress. Atang de la Rama was born in Pandacan, Manila. On May 18, 1987, she received the National Artist Award for Theaters. Her works includes Anak ni Eva, Bulaklak ng Kabundukan na, and Mahiwagang Bini-Bini. Rolando Estinio. He was born on March 5, 1937 until July 7, 1997. Rolando Santos Tino was a Filipino poet, dramatist, director, actor, critic, essayist, and educator. He was honored National Artist Awards on year 1997. His works are the following: Sit-Sit sa Kuliglig, Dunung-Dunungan, and Trick of Mirrors. Salvador F. Bernal. He was born on January 7, 1945 until October 26, 2011. He earned a philosophy degree in 1996 from the Ateneo de Manila University, where he would later teach literature and stage design. He received the honors of being a national artist in 2003. He designed over 300 drama, musical, opera, and concerts. Wilfredo Maria Guerrero. He was born on January 22, 1911 until May 1995. Guerrero taught and trained many notable figures in the Philippine performing arts such as Ben Cervantes, Celia Diaz Laurel, Joy Birata, and June Gamboa. He received the honor of being a national artist on 1996. His works includes Movie Artists, Basketball Fight, and Frustrations, which are all categorized as comedy. Severino Montana. He was born on January 3, 1915 until December 12, 1980. Severino Montana is considered as one of the titans of Philippine theater. He was a playwright, director, actor, and theater organizers, with an output of one novel, 150 poems, and 50 plays in his 65-year lifetime. He received his notable award as a national artist on theater on 1968. His works are the following: Sabina, The Love of Leonor, The Parting, at Kalamba, which all are romance acts.
The Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan, also known as the National Living Treasures Award, is the award given to a person or a group of artists that is recognized by the Philippine government for their contributions to the nation's cultural heritage. It is the highest presidential recognition given to individuals who excel in various indigenous arts, customs, and traditional practices. And here are the GAMABA awardees.
Eduardo Mutuk was awarded for dedicating his life to creating religious and secular art in silver and wood. More than merely decorative, his works add character and splendor to their setting. He was conferred the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan or the National Living Treasures Award in 2004. Lang Dulay was a Filipino traditional weaver who was a recipient of the National Living Treasures Award. She is credited with preserving her people's tradition of weaving tinalak, a dyed fabric made from refined abaca fibre. Salin Tamunon was a Filipino textile weaver who was the one of two recipients of the National Living Treasures Award in 1998. She was known for her Bagobo Tagabawa textiles and was known as the last Bagobo weaver. Saklag was conferred the National Living Treasures Award in 2000. By 2016, he had established a village within his town named Awichon, which aims to promote Kalinga culture to tourists. Saklag, who was awarded the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan National Living Treasure Award back in 2000, has worked tirelessly to help promote his culture and village to the outside world for so long, and eventually bought hectares of land in his hometown and converted it into a cultural village and park called Awichon. Federico Caballero is a Filipino epic chanter who is a recipient of the National Living Treasures Award. Brooks Point, town in Palawan Province, but was born near Macagua Valley in Taray, was given the Gawad sa Manlilikha ng Bayan or National Living Treasures Award in 1993. Masilo Taray was a Filipino poet, bard, artist, and musician who is a Palawan native known for his performance of the local traditions of Basal, Kulilal, and Bagit. He is also a recipient of the National Living Treasure recognition. Samaon Sulaiman was a Filipino musician who is a recipient of the National Living Treasure Award. The Maguindanaon is known for his mastery of the indigenous Kutyapi instrument. Wang Ahadas is a Filipino folk musician of the Yakan people who is a recipient of the National Living Treasures Award. A recipient of the award, known as a National Living Treasures or Manilikha ng Bayan, is defined as a Filipino citizen or group of Filipino citizens engaged in any traditional art uniquely Filipino, whose distinctive skills have reached such a high level of technical and artistic excellence and have been passed on to and widely practiced by the present generations in their community with the same degree of technical and artistic competence. President Fidel V. Ramos conferred the National Living Treasure Award to Ginao Bilog on December 17, 1993 in recognition of his people's preservation efforts of the Ambahan poetry which he recorded on bamboo. It was in 2012 when Lola Magdalena was honored as a National Living Treasure Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts or NCCA for the able waving traditional in the country. She is the only GAMABA awardee in the region. The NCCA invites nomination for its GAMABA Award for 2021.